All right, today we're going to talk about multiplying decimals. And I know, this is another review. You guys have done this already. You're familiar with how to multiply decimals, but we want to touch base on it and make sure we are clear on how to do everything. So you'll see on this first page, there's multiple ways to write multiplication. And as we go throughout the year, we're actually going to really get rid of this style. We're not going to have that multiplication, that x anymore, because we're going to have the idea of multiplication as a different setup. This is going to look probably a lot more similar to example number 2. So let's talk about the key to each one of these. Really, this comes back to the idea of expanded form, that you're really multiplying 4 times 8, and then you're going to add 6/10 times 8, and then finally you're going to have 8/100 times 8. And then you're going to add each one of those together. So, I mean, really, that's the concept. That's why this works, is you're separating it out each one. And if you think into fractions for a minute, since fractions and decimals are just different ways to say the same thing, you didn't have to have a common denominator. You don't have to have this common fraction, this common denominator to be able to multiply things together. So you're able to multiply no matter what. And really now it just comes down to kind of working your way through the math. Whether you do it separately like this and you go 32 plus 4 and 8/10 plus 64. All of it comes down to remembering how to add decimals, okay? How it works. So that's really what we're going to look at. We're going to look at different ways to do this. So let's go back to the traditional method. Now that we've kind of talked briefly about how it would work and why we can do what we do, let's look at the traditional method. The traditional method is really to line them up. And you really don't even have to do this. This is honestly how you could ever do it. Just multiply. I'm going to use a dot for multiplication. That's my preference. And you're just going to multiply like normal. You're going to ignore the decimal point until the very end. 8 times 8 is 4. That's not a 4. Is 4. Carry the 6. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 6 more is 54. Carry the 5, and then 4 times 8 is 32 plus 5 is 37. And then you're going to count your decimal places. There's 2 here, 0 here, so you're going to have 2 in the answer for 37 and 44/100. Okay? Now, multiplication like the next one is the exact same thing. If we see something surrounded by parentheses like this, that's going to tell us, hey, it's multiplication. This is a more common way of seeing this. As you get further up, it gets even more common as we don't even have, when we have variables, is that we don't have anything written down on it. So let's work our way through this. So we have 92 thousandths times 4. Now, we're going to keep doing this. Now, we know multiplication can be done either way. So whatever makes it easier for us, we're going to have the smaller number on the as our multiplier, not our multiplicand. So we're going to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. And then 9 times 4 is 36. There's no regrouping here. There's no carry. No, there's 3 here, 0 here, so a total of 3 in the answer. All right, moving our way down. So from here we go. And again, this is going to be where we're going to think smarter, not harder here. And that's one of my favorite things. You'll hear me say it a lot, is I don't want to make my life harder. I want to think in ways I can make this simpler. So am I going to multiply it as 5 and 8/10 times 2 and 2/10, or 2 and 2/10 times 5 and 8/10? To be fair, either are correct. You could do either one of these. But this one right here is going to be easier because you only really have to multiply each number twice. 8 times 2 is 6, carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. And now you're just going to drop a 0, and there are the answers again. You're just going to repeat the same digits. So 6, 7, 2, 1. Again, 2 decimal places, this time 1 here, 1 here. 12 and 76/100. And finally, this last one again is that smarter, not harder concept. I don't want to have to do 5 multiplication steps times 2. I want to do 2 times 5. Not to mention that's a 1. Anytime I have the multiplier being a 1, it's going to make my life easier because then I can just copy my answer. So I'm going to use my commutative property and come here and rewrite it going, okay, 1 and 3/10. So 2 times 3, 6. 15, regroup the 1. 12 plus 1 is 13, carry the 1. 7, 3, don't forget to drop your 0. 2, 5, 4, 2, 1. That's my favorite part, multiplying by ones. 6, 7, 8, 11. So I'm going to carry my 1. That gives me 6. Okay, now I'm going to count my decimals. 1, 2, 3, 1. So 3 and 1. So 4 into the answer. 16 and 1,876 10,000s. Now it's your turn to get some practice. So we'll start off pretty quick and easy. Let's just go one digit. Let's try number 1, and then we'll come over here and try number 4. So go ahead and pause the video, see what you come up with as your answers, then start it when you're ready to check your work. All right, so let's take a look at this. 765 times 2. So 0 gets 10, carry the 1. 12, 13, carry a 1. 14 plus 1 is 15. Now I got 2 decimal places here. I'm going to move it over 2, and that is actually, and then we're going to rewrite this answer saying the simplified answer, 15 and 3/10. I'm not going to write it as 15 and 30 hundredths. That 0 is going to disappear. It's unneeded. It's extra. Now I'm working my way to the next one. Again, 1 and 2 hundredths times 8/10. So 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1, drop 0, and then that's going to be 8. Drop my 0 this time. I've got 2 decimal places here, 2 here. In this case, I've got a little bit more thinking to do. I've got one decimal place here, not 2. So 2 here, 1 here. So I'm going to go over 3 decimal places. Okay. All right. Now let's try question number 5. And that's where I want to come down and take a look at one more practice problem together as a group, and then we'll let go out. So it's 5 thousandths times 4 hundredths. Now you can put the zeros in front. I don't typically do it. It's perfectly fine either way. 5 times 4 is 20, so 0, carry the 2. This one has 3 decimal places. This one has 2. What am I going to do now? I have to move, my answer has to contain 5 decimal points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to have to add 3 zeros as placeholders, and then finally rewrite my answer as 2 10,000s. I can get rid of this 0, but not to the very end. All right, so here's your turn. I want you guys to try number 9 and number 10. And then pause the video, and when you get done with it, check your answers. All right, this is another case where I'm going to rewrite it using my commutative property to make it easier on myself. I get to ignore these zeros, but I'm going to put my multiplier being the smaller 2-digit number to make it easier on myself. So 2 times 9 is 18, carry 1. 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. Drop the 0. 3 times 9 is 7. 27, carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Add them together. 8, 16, carry the 1, so 7. And then I've got 1 decimal place here. I've got 4 decimal places here, so I have 5 in the answer. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. My final answer is 4,768 hundred thousandths. All right, moving to the next one. This is, again, another where I'm going to use my commutative property. I'm hoping you guys are thinking in these ways. And you're going to multiply it by 25 and 4/10. Okay, so we've got 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 0, so 2. 10, carry the 1. 5, carry the 2. So I've got 65. Drop the 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 5 times 6 plus 1 is 31. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Drop 2 zeros this time. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. And finally, 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3. Drop 0, 0, 5, 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry the 1. 8 and 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. That's all right. Now we have how many decimal places? 2 and 1. So we're now 3 decimal places over. We're going to rewrite the answer as 412 and 75 hundredths. That's my final solution. The last little bit is just doing the same thing with word problems. Again, we're using our cube strategy we talked about yesterday. Okay, I'm not going to rewrite it out the whole time, but you circle any important numbers. So as I read through problem number 1, I'm going to circle any important units and numbers. Okay, then I'm going to go and underline the question, find the change in height. Okay, over 12 days. All right, I'm going to box keywords. Each is the key, each day. These 2 are keywords right here. So it tells me it's going to be multiplication because each is just repetitive over and over again. All right, is there anything I don't need to know? Not really. And finally, I'm going to simplify the answer. 6/10, 65 hundredths, times 12. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 6 times 2 plus 1 is 13. This time we drop a 0. So it's really 10 times 5, which is not what we're doing. We're just going to say 50, so 5 and 50 to one place. 5 times 6 is 6. Now we're going to add. So 78 isn't the right answer. We're going to say it's 78. And so now that doesn't even sound right. So we got to check our decimals 2 places here. So we're actually going to move our decimal place 2 places, and we'll get rid of that 0 because it's extra. And we're going to say it's 7.8 inches. All right, go ahead and try number 14, and then we'll go from there. All right, so you'll have to, again, we'll go through, we'll circle things per pound, circle my numbers, there's my word pounds, $20 bill, another circle. Okay, how much change will she receive is the question. Box per is another key multiplication word, all right. Pays with how much change. Change in itself is another word, so it's what's left over. So now I've got words, all the rest of it's just kind of extra, but we're going to use it. So we're going to go, okay, 21 and 82 hundredths times 0.79. All right, so we're going to multiply that together. 9 times 2 is 18, carry the 1. 72 plus 1 is 3, carry the 7. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 7 is 16, carry a 1. So 18 plus 1 is 19. This time we'll drop our 0, our placeholder 0, because we're really multiplying by, again, tens, not ones place. So we'll never have anything in the tens place. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1. 7 times 6 is 56, plus 1 is 57. Oh, there we go, 57, carry the 5. 7 times 1 plus 5 is 12, carry the 1. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Add these together. Let's see. Now 8, 7, 3, carry the 1. 11, 12, carry the 1. 7, 1. All right, now this is money, so we still got to keep in mind this how it works, but we got 2 decimal places here, 2 here, so we're going to move our decimal all the way over here, and we're going to use our mind here. How am I going to rewrite this? Well, money never goes out to the nearest 10,000ths, so we're going to look ourselves, we're going to round to this place value. So we're going to say that the pumpkin's going to cost $17.24. So now we do our math. 20 minus 17.24, using yesterday's concepts. 2 zeros, regroup, 1, 9, 9, 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's going to be $2.76 in change. There's my final answer. All right, if you have questions, please feel free to come see me, and I'll be happy to help you.